for this free booklet on cancer prevention.
Officials have demanded her resignation because of the publication of photos showing her nude with another woman. But friends say she may refuse to step aside. More from Steve Taylor.
Vanessa Williams hasn't appeared in public since she returned to New York on Friday, but she told reporters yesterday she does not remember signing any release form for publication of the nude photographs she admits posing for 2 years ago. Penthouse magazine says it has a release form and has already begun distributing its September issue with the layout. Last Friday, after viewing the pictures, Miss America pageant officials asked Miss Williams to give up her crown.
We will give her 72 hours to give that request consideration.
Yesterday, while Miss Williams remained secluded in her hometown of Millwood, New York, about 30 demonstrators marched to her parents' house to say Vanessa should not quit.
My daughters are fighting. I hope so. She comes from good fighting stock.
But one pageant official said yesterday he expects Vanessa Williams will resign. He said she's intelligent enough to realize the kind of public ridicule she'd face if she tried to go on making Miss America appearances after the photos hit the newsstands. Steve Taylor, ABC News in Millwood, New York.
In other news this morning, a spectacular fire swept through a high-rise retirement home in Van Nuys, California. The fire, which drove more than 200 residents from their rooms, injured at least 50 of the elderly residents. 29 fire companies responded to that blaze in Van Nuys, California. Flash flooding in southern Nevada has forced several hundred residents from their homes in the rural town of Overton. One in Las Vegas, one man was killed, several are missing after heavy rain swept through the downtown area, overturning cars and flooding city streets. And Vice President George Bush is rejecting the Democratic charge that President Reagan has a plan to raise taxes next year. At the Democratic convention in San Francisco last week, presidential nominee Walter Mondale said he would raise taxes if elected, and that President Reagan would too. But here on Good Morning America, Bush had this response.
We are not running on raising the people's taxes. We are running on trying to continue with growth, try to continue with the curtailment of spending, and then we'll see what has to happen. But we are not going to go out there and say, we want to be reelected, because, and to do that, we will raise everyone's income taxes.
A new Gallup poll puts the Democratic Mondale-Ferraro ticket ahead of President Reagan for the first time. 48% of those polled at the end of the Democratic convention endorsed the Mondale ticket, while 46% preferred the GOP slate. Geraldine Ferraro spent the weekend at her home in the Queens section of New York City. Hillary Brown reports.
Geraldine Ferraro spent Sunday the way she usually does, at home with the family, except that now she has a limousine, a police escort, at least 8 Secret Service agents, and a press corps to track her every move. In the morning, she went to Mass at the neighborhood Catholic church, where the congregation was urged to pray for her. In the afternoon, she took her daughter Laura to the airport to see her off on a trip to Europe. In between, she read her briefing books to learn about Mondale's policy positions, and aides say about the man himself. The day ended with dinner at her favorite local restaurant and a stop at the bagel shop for 6 Plain and 6 Sesame. All about as restful as it can be before a busy week where she'll try to put together a campaign staff, fly to Washington for the resumption of Congress, and then on to the Mondales in Minnesota to plan the campaign in earnest. Hillary Brown, ABC News, New York.
Also this morning, riot police in the Philippines used clubs and tear gas to break up a rally of more than 15,000 anti-government protesters. The confrontation came just hours before Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos was to address the opening session of the Philippine National Assembly. The communist government in Poland will begin releasing more than 600 political prisoners today. The month-long amnesty program declared by the government over the weekend is to mark the 40th anniversary of communist rule in Poland. And it's election day in Israel, where voters are deciding on that nation's 20th government. Pollsters are predicting a very tight race, with the campaign dominated by issues of soaring inflation, Israeli troops in southern Lebanon, and the future of the West Bank. John Donvan reports from Tel Aviv.
If Yitzhak Shamir feared this was his last time voting as prime minister, he was not going to say so at his polling station. Very confident was Shamir's remark at the finishing line.
I cannot give any numbers now, but I hope we will win.
In fact, Shamir's opponent, Shimon Peres, may be the more likely candidate for nervousness today. Perez's Labor Party still had the lead in polls published yesterday, but not the clear-cut lead that seemed so certain a few weeks ago. Neither Perez nor anyone else here feels sure enough to predict the winner.
You can choose any polls you like. So you have such a large variation that you must not commit yourself just to one of them.
Voter turnout is expected to be high for this election, as it always is in Israel. Many Israelis traveled across the country to be in their hometown polling stations. But otherwise, this is a day off for Israel, one for beaches and one for picnics, and for a last chance at discussing politics before the vote counting begins.
Those discussions will be spiced up by the apparent closeness of the race, for no one is expected to win a clear majority today. That means that Israel's parties will be left to negotiate yet another coalition government, and that could take days, perhaps even weeks. John Donovan, ABC News, Tel Aviv.
And that's our news at 8 o'clock. Joan?
Thank you, Steve. Right now it is 7 minutes past 8, and time for the weather and Dave Murray. And what's going on? Something out in Fresno, right?
Something unusual happened this weekend in Fresno. For the first time during the month of July, which is almost over, they did not go above 100 degrees over the weekend.
And they're known, though, for being very hot down there, yeah.
So they were, but they was like 95, 96. Yeah. It would take, they're going to stay below 100 today, but they're back up there probably towards the end of the week. Plus, sunshine is kind of on the limited side on this Monday as we take a look at a very gloomy view from outer space. Once again, that major stormy weather is going to hold over the desert southwest up into the Rockies as all that tropical moisture surges up from the south. That means more locally heavy thunderstorms. And once again, coastal sections of the southeast, thunderstorms will be rumbling. Plus, a new cold front is on the move over the Great Lakes into northern portions of New England with some showers. And that is going to very slowly drop down over the northeast tonight as our two pockets of moisture hold in the west and the southeast. Though tomorrow, I think the Rockies will start to slowly dry up. But a complete dry up out in the Rockies is still 3 or 4 days away. Then tomorrow, also look for a skinny band of showers from the mid-Mississippi Valley into the mid-Atlantic states. And yes, the southeast is still sticky and still stormy. That's a look at the forecast. Now here's what you can expect.
Triad weather calls for variable cloudiness today, a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms this afternoon and 85. Partly cloudy tonight down to 67, and partly cloudy skies again tomorrow and up to 88.
That's our forecast. I'll have the weekly weather outlook in our next report. Joan?
Thank you, Dave. Right now it is 8 minutes past 8. Dr. Tim Johnson right after this.
I'm Charlton Heston. Great leaders should be men of courage and vision and foresight. Senator Jesse Helms, the chairman of the important Senate Subcommittee on Latin America, fought the Panama Canal giveaway because he foresaw the Soviet-Cuban threat to Nicaragua, El Salvador, Grenada, and soon Mexico. Jesse Helms, a senator for North Carolina, a statesman for America.
On the next People's Court, she says her dressmakers are overcharging.
$10 out. How many hours did you work on the dress? She told me 8 hours. Oh. Well, that's only $80.
The dressmakers say she got a bargain with all her last-minute changes.
Then she wants the cover band at Fran's time. And she wants the ruff, we put the ruff in, and she thinks she's just a boom. We can make a dress just like that.
It's the case of the prom girl who wouldn't pay, next on the People's Court. The People's Court, tonight at 7:30 after Entertainment Tonight.
One of the nice things about growing older is the memories you collect along the way. Memories that should last a lifetime. But if you've begun to have trouble remembering things, don't ignore it. Contact your doctor or your local senior center. Help may be available. You see, the saddest thing about losing your memory is that you have so much to remember. This has been a public service message of the National Council on the Aging.
The road to the Olympics is not all glory. It is paved with sweat and determination. And many of North Carolina's own pride and joy figure to play an important role in helping bring home the gold for the United States. This week in a special series, sports reporter Greg Whitfield profiles Tar Heel sports figures and shows you why these athletes strive to reach the peak of their abilities at the Los Angeles Games. Join us for the Tar Heel Road to Gold, an Eyewitness News Extra, this week on TVH Eyewitness News at 6.
after 8 right now. As you probably know by now, Jim Fixx, who wrote so many books on running, died last Friday while he was running. He was only 52 years old. He died of a heart attack. He had an autopsy. It indicated that his coronary arteries were very badly blocked. As shocking and sad as Jim's death is, it also raises a lot of questions about the benefits of jogging, other exercise. Dr. Tim Johnson is joining us from WCVB in Boston this morning to help explain some of it, and our picture went down. We don't have it, so we're just going to talk on the telephone through our microphones here. Hi, Tim. Good morning.
Good morning, David.
Tim, I think most of us were just shocked. How could a guy in as great shape as Jim Fixx obviously was just drop dead while he was running?
Well, in order to answer that, I have to quickly mention the 6 most important risk factors for heart disease. 3 of them we can do something about: high blood pressure, high blood fats, smoking. 3 of them we can't do anything about: our age. As we get older, we're more likely to have one; our sex. If we're men, we're not as protected as women, at least till the age of menopause; and family history. And many experts would say that the family history is the single most important risk factor. Now, when we learn that Jim Fixx's father had his first heart attack at age 35 and then died of a heart attack at age 43, it really puts this into an entirely different perspective. Obviously, we were shocked, but when we learn about his family history, we really shouldn't be shocked. In fact, we should almost think that he might have died sooner with that family history.
But Tim, when you do know that history and know your body physically as well as he knew his, how is it that he didn't know he had clogged, I mean, not that you know the answer, but how could he not know that he had those really badly clogged arteries? Aren't there tests and all of that?
In fact, according to what we're hearing from his family members, he was not very good about seeing a doctor or having regular checkups. Now, there are several ways in which you might know that something is going on in your coronary arteries. That is, if you have symptoms, warning symptoms such as chest pain while running, clearly that would be an important factor. You should certainly look at your risk factor profile, and in his case, knowing that family history, he should have been having regular checkups, including some of the tests that can point to what's going on in our arteries, even though we may not feel anything or suspect anything. Those tests would range all the way from a resting electrocardiogram up through an angiogram, which gets a direct look at the coronary arteries.
All right, who should have those? How does somebody know what tests they ought to have to best protect themselves?
Well, the people who should have those tests include people who have warning symptoms, past or present. We say that before anyone starts a regular vigorous exercise program of the sort that he was engaging in, if they're over age 35, they should have it. And most certainly, anybody with a strong risk factor profile, including that strong family history he had, should be having regular checkups.
All right, what about the exercise, the aerobic exercises, running, swimming, whatever, you know, big exercise?
All right.
What are the steps you take?
Yeah, and interestingly enough, in relation to this tragedy, I've heard people say, well, obviously running was dangerous. In fact, I think we could argue quite the contrary, David. We could say that running, even in his case, may have prolonged his life. He might have died in his 40s without the dramatic change in his lifestyle that occurred 15 years ago. And I think we could make a reasonable argument that the running he engaged in did, in fact, prolong his life. Obviously, we don't have smoking gun evidence that running or any other form of aerobic exercise will guarantee that you won't get a heart attack, but there is a huge amount of circumstantial evidence that it can prolong life when you do it in the form of good aerobic exercise. On the other hand, we also have to say clearly that running is dangerous for some people. For those who have a strong family history, for those who have symptoms, those people should run only under careful medical supervision.
So, go to your doctor, find out from his point of view or her point of view what you should and shouldn't do, and follow their directions.
And particularly if you are at high risk for any of the reasons we've talked about, family history being at the very top of the list.
Tim Johnson, thank you. Good to have you with us this morning.
Thank you, David.
Thanks. And we'll be back. We'll talk with 3 women who are extremely successful in their careers, 3 women of influence, and we'll talk about how they got there and how tough it was. 8:15.
If you love Food Line's low food prices,
help us tell your friends and neighbors.
You could win $5, $10, $20, even $1,000 in groceries from Food Line. Just pick up this bumper sticker at any Food Line store and place it on your car. Then fill out an entry form. Each week, someone will win $1,000 in groceries. Just help us advertise our low prices. You could be one of hundreds of people who drive off with thousands of dollars in groceries from Food Line each week.
Rick Amy on News Center 12.
How many here have eaten soul food? You like it?
Yeah.
What is it? Well, now, wait a minute. I'll get over here.
you're talking about pig's feet. I've had pig's feet.
Pig's feet, huh?
Pig's feet.
Yeah. What do they call that in a French restaurant? They sure don't.
Well, I don't know. I've never been in a French restaurant.
You like pig's feet?
I sure do. I love them.
I think about a hoof and a...
Oh, no. I put them in a tomato sauce.
For how long?
Well, first I boil them, and then I put them in a prepared tomato sauce.
Okay. Is that right?
Well, we had barbecued them.
Well, let me tell you who's here. This is Dot Burton, who's here with her mother. Helen Dickerson, who is the chef for the Chalfont Hotel in Cape May, New Jersey. She's been there for, I don't know.
No,
all right, I won't say. And you probably have all the, you know, I want to know how legit you are, Mrs. Dickerson. You're probably using all the blenders and the automatic scrapers and peelers and pushers and, no.
That's my daughter. She's old-fashioned.
She doesn't use all that new stuff?
I use. I'm using modern ones.
Yeah. What's the matter? You don't like that new stuff, huh? You can't tell
Not
what
too
you do.
much.
No.
It goes too fast.
Yeah. You're also, you know when to stop stirring, I guess. That's one of the value. You
Know when to stop stirring and stop throwing. I just throw a little here and a little there, and she comes out all right for me.
I'm sure she does. And for all the patrons of the hotel, black-eyed peas and ham hocks. That's our opener?
That's our opener.
Can you smell them? Now don't... Is this a daily feature of your diet?
No.
Why?
No, because and you would get tired of anything, and black-eyed peas and ham, they're not a real good diet. It's a high form of protein, but that's all.
Yeah. Okay, Ms. Dickerson, why don't we get going here? What's going to happen here?
Well, the first thing you do, this is a pound of black-eyed peas.
Yes, ma'am.
You soak them overnight.
So this isn't coming home from work and throwing something together for the kids.
You do this after you've had your cocktail and getting ready to go to bed.
Right, okay. This is the easy part, huh? All right.
Yeah. Now they soak overnight. The next morning, you put your ham hocks in the pot along with 3 diced onions, a bay leaf, seasoning salt, and whatever else you want to throw in there.
Yeah, okay. Maybe a little white wine, huh?
No.
All right.
I'm going to drink that. I ain't going to throw it in the bean.
Right. I guess it does taste better if you
And then we cook about 2 hours, but you put the ham hocks in first, and the onions and the bay leaf and all this, and then drop the the peas into the hocks. And this is what it looks like after it's been cooked about 2.5 hours. We stayed all day yesterday, cooking and baking and soaking.
What did you say, Dad, about bacon?
When it's nearly done, I brought this all the way from Cape May, because I know they won't have no bacon up here. You put in about 2 big spoonfuls of bacon fat. That helps gives it the taste.
Yes, ma'am. It also helps send you to the forest lawn, too, in about an hour and a half.
Doctor don't agree with me, I'm sure on that.
We got a physician here who's done a lot of work on cancer and diet and causes and remedies and so on, and we'll talk about the health of this thing in just a second. But go ahead, I interrupted you. So you put the... Do you use an electric stove?
No, I use gas.
Yeah. Actually, that was what you had when you were a young woman.
No, when I was a young woman, and I cooked at the Chalfont, they had coal stove.
And you probably miss them, don't you?
Do I miss them?
Because why? They're just the feel of it was...
Not the feel of it. I think it makes the food taste better.
Yeah.
Coal and wood, absolutely.
Yeah, electric stove is tough to read, isn't it? You don't know how hot it is, or and it goes up and down.
My daughter's got electric. I'm trying to get her to get gas now.
Yeah.
And I like a wood stove if I could.
Yeah. Well, I'll talk to her. We'll talk after.
Well, I would appreciate that.
Okay. What's this here now?
Now, this is stewed tomatoes. Now, with this, is 4 cans of tomatoes. Of course,
You're cheating, Helen.
They
You're
had
cheating.
They had to get me 4 little cans because at the hotel I have great big number 10 cans.
Yes, ma'am.
And I just put them in the pot,
Right.
squash them up. Better wash your hands first, though.
Yes, ma'am.
Squash them up, and then, as you can see, they even got a squeeze off of her up here because I wanted to bring my chopper and bowl, but they said I couldn't carry that on the plate.
Okay.
So that's the way I like. I made her not do it too fine. She always does it fine. But as you can see, there's green peppers, onions, and celery in here.
Right.
And
excuse me, but how is this served? Can I? Tell me now at the Chalfont. Give me a. Let me serve. I want to get some of the folks in the audience in here. We'll see. We'll see how we're doing here.
Well, at the Chalfont, we have oval dishes like this. We don't have no little thin paper plates. Can you get me a couple of the little bowls like this?
Yeah. Hey, Helen, probably be better if you waited till after the show to criticize
Showing up?
No, I understand your point. You serve it. You're not trying to stand on ceremony here. It's a practical way to serve it. I think that's the point. Yeah. So this is going to be a little rough. Okay.
Yeah.
But I do want to get the audience in on this. So throw a few on. All right. Yeah, double them up. That's good. Okay. Here come the black-eyed peas. Don't forget, a couple hours at. What would you call that on the electric stove, Dot?
Don't ask me.
250, 350?
350.
350 for 2 hours?
2 hours.
All right. And the aroma brings back lots of memories to folks for whom this is a very central part of their childhood memories, their heritage, and all those other good things about home and hearth. All right, that's it, huh? Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Now, asking you to accept. You want it? Okay. All right. Okay. Asking you to accept our apology for the nature of our silverware and hardware and chinaware. Okay. Now, get yourself a little piece of that ham and let's see. All right. What do you think? Does it look like she's enjoying it? Huh?
It's sure not McDonald's, but no, it's okay. You know.
Well, what is that now? Is it tasty?
It's just flavorful.
Have you ever had it before?
No, I haven't.
Well, I guarantee you're gonna want some.
Yes, ma'am. Let me try just here for a second, because I've got to be honest with you. The ham hocks, huh?
Yeah.
Which part of the pig is that?
His knees.
His knees?
Well, that is what it is. You see
Yes, ma'am. I'm not arguing with you. No, I haven't had the ham hock yet. There does appear to be some gristle in this, but that's okay, huh? Just go for it. All right. I'm afraid I'll be here for the rest of the show chewing on this thing.
No. You won't.
I'm not kidding, Miss Gray.
I guarantee
No
you.
kidding. You don't believe me? You don't believe this? You don't think you'd like this? All right. Oh, listen. All right. Well, wait, I'm finished. All right. You ever had it before? Take your time. There are people in this audience who are saying, please don't let him come to me with it. Go ahead, try that. Now, come on, you were doubtful, weren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Good. It is very good.
Well, I want to know what happened to the cornbread and rice.
What happened to the cornbread and rice? We'll only do one thing at a time here. That's coming up, right? No, this is you got to watch these audiences. They're getting more hostile with each passing day. They're very aggressive.
We got the cornbread.
Yeah. Let me show you the recipe. For those of you, we don't have recipes for everything that Mrs. Dickerson is going to do, but we do have it for this. So just zap that up there, Ronnie. Okay, 4 smoked ham hock. Easy enough. Quart of water. 1 pound of black-eyed peas. That's a lot of peas. 1/2 cup bacon grease. 3 onions. When do you put the bacon grease in?
Anytime.
Anytime.
You can put it in.
All right. Well, I'll tell you, she takes the straightest route. There's nothing. A pinch of sugar, a pinch of seasoning salt. 1 tea. Is that tablespoon or teaspoon? That's teaspoon. All right. I'm just trying to learn. 1 teaspoon of salt. 1 small tea of black pepper. There you go. And you bring the water to boil and cook for 1 hour. You said 2. Oh, second hour. After the remaining ingredients cook for 1 hour.
I don't know how they put that up there, but I'm telling them what I do.
Yes, ma'am. It must be a real joy to work for you, Helen. I would hate to be a greenhorn in your kitchen, I'll tell you. These people will need... yeah, while we're on it, hang on a minute. We got some questions for you here. Yes?
I want to know, is it Southern cooking or is it black culture cooking?
Yeah. What is the origin of the soul food?
Southern black cooking on that.
Southern black. It's probably, though, I did a little homework.
There's a whole lot of whites that don't know anything about black-eyed peas. Even at the shop on, what is black-eyed peas?
You mean they don't really, they're not familiar with it?
Not familiar with it.
Yeah, they are very, very good. We should say that soul food is like most other ethnic culinary features, comes from, what's the matter?
No, soul food is a recent term that came in. Somebody wrote a book called Soul on Ice. That's where it came from years ago. This is the original, traditional black diet from the South. I call it soul food because it's got to have a title, but that's what...
Right. You are I.D. Rotkin, PhD, University of Illinois School of Medicine. You've done a good deal of work on, everybody's into what you eat now, you are what you eat, all that. It's never been more true, nor have we ever been more conscious of what we're consuming in this day of fast food and the variety and so on. So what's your briefest speech, Doctor? Is this any good for us?
I'll tell you, you couldn't design a better diet than what we call soul food, than the traditional black diet, if you left out the lard and the bacon grease and maybe some of the pork. Otherwise, it's an extremely good diet. It's a healthy diet. My interest happens to be in diet as it relates to cancer, and that's how I got into this.
Right.
And virtually every item you have here is very healthy and tends to prevent cancer, to reduce the risk of getting a number of different cancers. So this is a very excellent diet.
Yes, but I think you have gently suggested to Mrs. Dickerson, and of course you're on your own as you deal with whatever response she may have for this afternoon, that, Helen, he wants you to take the salt. The salt's got to go out.
Yeah, the salt
There's too much fat.
The salt too.
Too much salt. You take out the salt, you take out the fat. So what's left?
Well, collard greens and stewed tomatoes and candied yams and black-eyed peas. You have a lot of stuff there that you can put
But
in.
we cook all this with pork.
Well, okay, you can keep the pork, but take the fat off the pork.
Yeah.
See, pork isn't a fat meat.
I
Pork
see
is
what
a
you
lean
mean.
meat.
Just dig out all this and just have that. And then it won't have the good old flavor.
Well, I'm sorry, but if black people have a lot of hypertension, as we all know, high blood pressure, and that's where it comes from.
You think so?
Yeah.
This is about diet, not about any kind of genetic predisposition to this, because it is a significant, the numbers are significantly higher for hypertension in the black community. Okay, especially males, true?
Especially males, yeah.
Well, yeah, what's the matter? Well, all right, get in here. Come on, stand, please. Go ahead.
Real problem with that. I think if you gave the average white kid in the suburbs the same diet, they would not have a hypertension problem, because if you're going to relate to the fact that stress is one of the major causes of hypertension, if you reduce the stress factor in the black community, we could still eat the same thing we've always eaten.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to what you're saying.
We've got people in the NBA and the NFL who have this diet. They don't have stress, and they don't have hypertension, and they make $1 million a year.
Well,
no,
you know.
No question about that. No question. Stress has a lot to do with it. Maybe most.
What kind of cancers does it help to prevent?
Well, it depends on which foods you're talking about. You have peas here. All beans and peas provide you with fiber, vegetable fiber, which prevents colon cancer, rectal cancer, anything in the gut, you see, because then the fiber helps the food to go through quickly and nothing can accumulate, you see, to set the cancer off and to make it develop. You have peppers, as I remember you said you had peppers in there. And I noticed there are candied yams here, and collard and turnip greens, and these contain vitamin A and vitamin C, which help to prevent a number of different cancers, breast cancer, prostate cancer. So the diet is really very excellent.
That's Pat McMillan that you see in the background ordering me around in front of the audience. It's just it's a very difficult assignment I have here. Dot, give us this candied yams. Here you go.
You pick a yam or 4 yams, 6, whatever your family requires, and you boil them or you can bake them. Yes. I usually boil them. I baked this here today. It was quite interesting because the skin comes off easier. You know, you peel off your skin and cut them, shape them if you want them.
And
then you add brown sugar, a little bit of brown. You have it's on the amounts on the recipe. I don't measure, so they had me to do it measurement, but right now I'm just going to do it. Brown sugar, a little pineapple juice.
Just a little, just sort of, you wing it.
Like a half a cup or whatever they got on the menu.
You know, you just kill me.
At the Shell Farm, we just do it according to.
Okay.
Little orange juice.
Your mother's been doing this now for however many years, isn't it? And,
yeah, 40 or 50. I've been doing it for about 30, 35.
And when people ask her for the recipe, she just quite literally, it's so much a part of your work and your skill that you've never written this down.
Yes, yes, I did.
You did?
I didn't write it, but a lady wrote it for me, Miss Finley. Do you know her?
Yes, I've met Miss Finley, yes.
All right. She was my match.
She's good, huh?
Yeah, she had to have measurement of everything, so I just threw it down there. Now you measure.
She had to measure.
All right.
And the vanilla goes in.
The vanilla, all right.
Butter. A little butter.
A little butter.
A little syrup.
Okay.
Black. You can brown or white.
Y'all got to get them.
And pineapple. This is my added attraction.
Yeah. What do you mean?
I discovered one time I threw a little crushed pineapple.
Put a little pineapple on top.
And then a little apple salt.
Let's serve this.
And that's how it turned out. Oh, good.
Now, this one you're saying about, right? Sure. All right. Well, wait. All right, we'll get everybody. I'll tell you, they're starting to attack here. We better... all right, hang on just a minute. I promise I'll give you... you want it? All right. Okay. They're going to kill me for giving this to a man, but go ahead anyway. Let me get you some more forks. If you're family, you can use the same plate. I'll give you a different fork. Let me say again that Helen Dickerson began as a child working at the Chalfont Hotel in Cape May, New Jersey. And this is a hotel that's 18-something, 76, somewhere.
1872.
1872. It has been declared a National Historic Landmark, and it's still going strong. Opens for the summer, and Mrs. Dickerson is the person who presides over a very, very conscientious menu that includes, here's some more forks if you want to pass this along here. Why don't you give that a try? And incidentally, as you may have already guessed, she does start just about everything from scratch, even though she has of late surrendered to the number 10 can. So I guess we're going to give you a pass on that. We can't expect you to be out in the backyard worrying about the tomatoes and all those other things. But you do have a magnificent reputation for providing, in this day of fast service, and doesn't have to be good, it has to be by 6 o'clock, a menu that, what is that? What is it? Biscuits. See, they want the biscuits.
And you got to cut the spoon.
You want to try and All right, wait a minute.
Bread.
Yeah, let's do the collard and turnip greens before we, because I've got that on the.
Okay.
You ready, Dot? For the collard and turnip greens? Oh, you want a break? All right, hold on just a second. They're upset. I've got a break. I've got to go do a commercial here. Which program do you like better on television? The Donahue Show or
Garden Life?
Oh.
We'll be back with Helen Dickerson in just a moment.
You're crazy. I think he looks fabulous.
We just told Debbie Tompkinson if she's got cotton, she could do better for her family wash.
My fabric softener does the job on my husband's shirts.
I agree. Compare these all-cotton shirts. One done in your fabric softener, the other in Final Touch fabric softener. Which is better?
They're both soft, but this is absolutely whiter.
This one is whiter. Final Touch?
I don't believe.
For a soft, whiter wash, add the Final Touch. Now with a new, fresh, clean scent.
If Final Touch did this, then I want Final Touch.
Something's new about that cereal.
Delicious.
Love the apple. Now there's even more apple. That's why it's called Post Fruit and Fiber cereal tastes so good, you forget the fiber. Crispy, high-fiber flakes, now with 25% more apple. Slices of golden dried apple, plus cinnamon. So all you remember is...
Fruit and,
How many letters? Now Fruit and Fiber has 25% more apple. It tastes so good, you forget the fiber.
The Cobb Chiropractic Clinic points out that what is often referred to as whiplash is a painful injury that affects the neck, back, spine, and nervous system. If you suffer back and neck pain due to injuries and have as yet been unable to find relief, perhaps there is someone who can relieve your pain. Dr. Russell Cobb of the Cobb Clinic is experienced with injuries resulting from accidents that affect the neck, spine, and nervous system. Contact Dr. Russell Cobb at the Cobb Chiropractic Clinic for help.
Decaffeinated just for me. Lipton, you made decaffeinated delicious just for me.
Hey, Lipton, you made decaffeinated refreshing just for me.
Introducing Lipton Decaffeinated Tea Bags. Real Lipton tea, delicious and decaffeinated just for you.
Ooh, Lipton tea, you made new decaffeinated just for us.
All right, Mrs. Dickerson's talent is being shared with this audience. We'll do our best to feed everybody. Yes, ma'am?
I have a question. I'd like to ask Mrs. Dickerson, or her daughter, how long do you let your sweet potatoes bake? Do you bake them in the oven after you get through?
Do you bake
Yeah, you bake them for what, about 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
Today I did. I normally home, I boil them. I put them in water and boil them. And you can stick them and see if they get, soft. Don't get them too done or they'll fall apart like you did on me today.
I know how to prepare them, but this is what I wanted to know, is normally after you get through putting all your ingredients in, you run them back in the oven for about 45, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
You didn't know that? I knew that. Yes, ma'am.
Helen, do they serve fried green tomatoes and cornmeal at your hotel?
Fried green tomatoes?
Yes.
We do.
Fried tomatoes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, delicious.
We better get cracking here with whatever it is. Collard and turnip greens. Do your thing, Helen.
Now,
yeah, well, hold on. We got to get the doctor in here.
Let me point out that these yams are one of the healthiest foods you can possibly eat.
That's true. Yeah.
They're full of keratin from carrots, all yellow and orange vegetables.
Talking about yams now, friends. Okay, we
It has a real effect in preventing lung cancer, prostate cancer, several other cancers. It may be the most valuable food here.
No kidding.
Yes, yams are loaded, more than with carrots.
What?
How much do you have to eat? You say it prevents from cancer, but how much do you have to eat in order for it to do any good?
I eat one sweet potato every day, because I happen to like sweet potatoes.
You eat a sweet potato a day?
Yeah, I eat one every day, a small sweet potato. I like sweet potatoes, and I use it for a dessert.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Don't the potatoes have a lot of starch in them, though?
Don't they have a lot of starch, Doc?
No, they have some starch. They don't have a lot of starch. It's not like regular potatoes, but they are very healthy.
Okay. All right, let's get going here, Helen. We got to work. Collard and turnip greens.
That's going to be up on the screen.
Yes, ma'am, I know, but I want to show them what we got here.
Well, I'm going to show them how to do it. Now, whether they do it this way or not, I don't know. And I don't know what y'all have put up there. You had one thing wrong already.
Oh. What was, all right.
When you first get your collard greens, I know a lot of my friends in here knows all about collard greens, and I think some of the white people knows about collard greens. So, we...
Not a lot, but we know some things about it, yeah.
Well, I was raised up on them.
Yes, ma'am.
They know how to pick them out.
Yeah.
And you pull them off, and I got a son-in-law that works with me at the hotel, and we have a pot of collard greens every Sunday, and he wants to hurry up and look at television, so he goes...
Too fat. You don't like that?
I don't like it because you got to take them and do them like this, and don't about them all go up to the mouth with all that thing stringing down.
Yeah, yeah. Where'd you get this son-in-law anyway?
Ask her.
Yeah.
And I know this won't agree with the doctor, but here goes ham hocks again.
All right. Fine.
And I got turnips. You all will see when you do. We get a turnip and peel it and dice it and put it in with them. And I also throw in a pinch of bread soda. That keeps the color in there. And cut up 4 onions and put in there.
A dice them, you mean?
Anyway, put them in any way you can.
4 onions, throw them in, huh?
Yeah, just so you take the peelings off.
Yes, ma'am. But, you know, well, all right. The onions come in various sizes. I mean, this is about what you're recommending.
Yeah,
okay.
Something like that.
All right.
And these are, what are these, turnip greens, ain't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yes.
They don't look like the ones in Cape May.
Yeah. Well, this is a Chicago turnip green.
Don't you know that? I didn't know Chicago even had turnip greens.
Well, we don't have too much room left to grow them, but...
Because I wanted to bring my collard and turnip greens with me.
You probably should have.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, this is going to be a long hour, Helen.
No, it's a short. You can forget this now and let them try.
Okay, fine. Can I show them the recipe? And if we get it wrong, tell us. I'm sure you will.
I promise you I ain't going to say nothing.
No, that's all right. Here we go. 5 pounds collard and turnip greens, 1 turnip, 5 smoked ham hocks. How are we doing? 1/2 cup bacon grease. There's the bacon grease again. Quart of water. All right. All right. Then you go with, well, it says 1 onion here.
Well, that's another mistake. I'm sorry,
all right. Look, pick the number of onions. Up to you. 1 small tea. That's a large tea, so that'd be a tablespoon. I get it now. 1 tablespoon large tea vinegar, pinch baking soda, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of black pepper. That's good enough.
And let them cook around 2.5, 3 hours.
Right. Now here we go back to our fine. Huh? Oh, longer. Place the ham hocks in a pot of water. Cook covered over medium heat for 1 hour. Wash and stem greens, peas, and sliced turnip.
Things so you drain some of the water.
Oh, peel. All right. I'm about as good at this as your son-in-law, you know? Add all ingredients to the ham hock. Is that it? And water after, what is that? And water, I mean, by the time you finish this, the guests will be going to bed. And after 1 hour cooking period, cook additional hour. I get it. I get it. All right, we'll bring our fine china from this high-budget show into service for this recipe prepared by Mrs. Dickerson, collard and turnip green. What do you think? You want to try that? All right. Okay.
Now, you see, this is what I mean.
Help me out here, Marlene.
This is what I mean if they had cut them in smaller pieces.
This is what you think they should do.
Yeah. That's what I do at home.
All right. Now, she cut them. She cut them. All right. All right, I will get to everybody, I promise. Okay, we're coming to you. Let me pick up some questions while I'm out here. Does anybody wants to get in this thing? Yes, ma'am.
They can do it down there. Do one more.
I'd like to ask the doctor if he thinks this Soul diet accounts for the low incidence of osteoporosis in black women.
I'm still moving out.
This particular diet?
The greens have a lot of calcium in them.
That's true.
Black women have a very low
Yes,
incidence.
they do. I couldn't answer that because I don't have a definite answer for you. It would seem to help, though, to me, because it's true. They're loaded with calcium.
Yeah.
They're also extremely good with regard to cancer.
How do you account for the fact that I've come from the north, and we have this all the time? I mean, we've had black-eyed peas and ham hocks and stewed tomatoes and collard and cornbread and all this kind of stuff.
Good.
Obviously because it's good, huh? You're saying that...
Well, it's good home cooking.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yeah. And it's a wonderful aroma as well. Yeah.
I have a question for the doctor.
No.
Why is it like years ago people would just eat everything and anything, and now everything you eat and drink is supposedly causes cancer?
Well, that's a big problem. That would take a whole hour to discuss, really. Unfortunately, we have this whole thing that we're taught about the quality of life, live well, improve your living and all this kind of thing, and then we're told don't do anything, don't eat the wrong foods and so on. This is a very big problem, and the two don't come together. You're right about that, and I have to tell you, some of the things that are around where you're told that you're at higher risk of cancer don't really work out. But if I went into that, it would take a long time. That's a very good question, though.
And we'll be back in just a moment.
Hi, I'm James Arness. And if you're between the ages of 45 and 74, could I ask you a very important question? Have you ever stopped to think of the financial hardships that could result from your death or the death of your spouse? No one wants their death to create a financial burden on their loved ones. And yet, it nearly always does. Most folks know that they need more life insurance, but feel they just can't afford it. Well, Academy Life's Family Security Life Plan now makes it easier than ever for anyone who's 45 to 74 to get the extra protection they need for only $5 a month. You see, this plan combines term life insurance with accidental death coverage to provide big dollar benefits at rates nearly everyone can afford. For example, a 45-year-old can buy over $41,000 of initial insurance protection for only 67 cents a day. But price isn't the only way they've made it easy. Right now, you'll receive your first 2 months of coverage at no cost to you. That's right, your first 2 months at no cost. See what I mean when I say they've made it easy? Big dollar benefits, affordable rates, and no cost for the first 2 months. Honestly, with Academy making it so easy, is there any reason why you shouldn't give your family the security they deserve? This free information kit will only take you a few minutes to read. But what a difference it could make in your family's future. Here's how to get it.
Call toll-free 1-800-228-1200. That's 1-800-228-1200. The information kit that Mr. Arnett spoke of will be mailed to you free with no obligation. That's 1-800-228-1200. That's 1-800-228-1200. This is a free call.
All right, we got lots kinds of help here now. We are feeding this audience. Believe it or not, we're going to try to get to everybody. You really like this aroma, don't you? I'll tell you, I must not tell a lie. I'm not proud of this, but I just don't know that many white folks who sit around saying, hey, let's go get some soul food. Now, this is not to say that there are none.
I don't either.
And it's clear from the attention this audience is giving to this and the interest they have in that it's a cultural barrier that's not necessary. It's a wonderful, wonderful meal.
Once they taste it, they'll probably go home and cook it.
Yeah. Well, if you got Mrs. Dickerson in the kitchen, that's not going to hurt. Give them your brief speech on the
cornbread.
Yes, ma'am.
We do spoon bread in Chow Farm, which is very good. It's a soft kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But cornbread is just, as I guess most people know, cornmeal. I won't say how much. You got your measurements on there.
That's a cup.
And a little flour we add in our cornbread.
A cup of each, all right.
A cup of each.
All right.
1 egg.
Yeah.
two tablespoons of oil.
See, I know it by heart.
Yeah.
She knows about. I'm just learning. See, I didn't want to learn how to do this.
Yes,
She
ma'am,
keeps
I
on-
know what you mean. Go ahead.
And how much salt? A teaspoon of salt, a cup of milk. And you stir this all together. And you put it in, you put the oil really in the greased baking pan or
Right. Is this it?
No, here it is here.
Oh, good.
And you
All right.
put the oil in the oven, in the pot plate first, let it get hot, then take it out and pour the ingredients in. Put it back into the cook.
You want to try this?
And that's what it is.
Oh, sure, yeah. All right, why don't you just pass it around? Just pass it around. We ought to have napkins or something, shouldn't we? Here's some napkins. All right.
And then your biscuit is just
Same
plain
thing?
old biscuit, baking powder, flour, salt.
Okay, look at this. I mean, I remember when these audiences were well-behaved, decorous.
Yeah, the
Oops, I'm sorry. Okay.
Well, she's not going to do biscuit either.
All right. We ought to have something to drink here.
I was going to say one first.
All right. Sorry. All right, we're getting back here in the last row. All right. Holy cow, I tell you, this is were you all raised in a boarding house or what? Where do we get these audiences?
We got
So much for the biscuits. All right, it's pig's feet time.
Let me say
all right,
something.
before we do it, let's get the doctor in here. Go ahead, Doc.
Collard greens, I want to get back to that.
Okay,
Turnip greens, beet greens, all the other greens you eat, chard and all these other things, very healthy. Vitamin A, vitamin C, fiber, everything you could really want. This is a very good part of the black traditional diet. Has a lot to do with preventing the formation of cancers. So this is another good thing about this. Well, I'd like to comment also on the question that was asked before about, a very important question. Everything that we like to do, we can't do because you're going to get a cancer, you're going to get a stroke or heart disease. This is a problem we have today. With regard to cancer, some of the things that you hear simply aren't secure. They're not sure. For instance, the National Academy of Sciences last year said that fats, more than anything else, with cholesterol can cause cancers. I have to tell you that there are lots of studies today that say that that simply isn't true. So that before you decide that there's nothing you can do, that you're restricted in all of your activities and what you eat and everything else, you really have to make sure. And the best way to make sure is to ask your physician.
Okay.
Yeah.
We agree. All right. Well, guess who's here?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
All right, who's first? Fewer hands are going up. All right, tell us how you do this, Helen. Give us your best shot here on the pig's feet.
Well, you know, you have to wash it, scrub it, and clean it. These are pretty feet. Gracious.
Well, those are Chicago pig's feet.
Yeah.
You don't find pig's feet like that in Cape May, I'm telling you.
Well, I brought these from Cape May.
Yeah, but ours are better.
They're small, I can say that.
Okay.
And you scrape them good and scrub them. And then you put them in the pot. You got a thing up there, well, I hope that's right.
Well, we'll find out. I'm sure you'll let us know if it is.
And this is before and this is after.
All right, let's.
No, you gonna try this.
This is it, huh?
You're gonna pull off a little toe there and tell me what you think.
Give me a piece of the meat, too.
Now, you're right, because you don't need no fork. What'd you give him that fork for?
Take your fingers.
All right. Now, did you put anything on this?
They were cooked in...
I told you the thing up there tells you everything I put in it.
I'm sorry.
It ain't gonna bite you.
Good.
Well, Phil, the guy in the back wants to try some. Take him up some.
You want to try some? Is this meat or is it fat?
That's the fat. Here's some meat. Give him a piece of meat. The meat's good. The fat's good, too.
Wow. Use the fingers, friends. We're all family.
They made them fingers before they made forks.
Yes, ma'am, they did. This is good. It's, you know, ham. Same animal.
It's still pork.
Pork.
Doctor ain't gonna agree with me so much, but
Well, the meat's all right. The fat isn't.
I got high blood pressure, and I eat them practically twice a month.
How old are you, Miss Dickerson?
Well, I'm old enough. I done had 2 husbands and put both of them in the ground.
We'll be back in just a moment.
There's nothing different here.
I'd say something's very different here.
That something is Kellogg's Fruitful Bran. Fruitful Bran is a feast of raisins, dates, and apples, all from Sun-Maid. It's the taste you've been looking for. Discover Kellogg's Fruitful Bran. Discover just how good a fiber cereal can taste.
Dancing in basically jeans from Ivy's. Ivy's basically jeans for boys and girls. Check them out. $10.99 to $13.99. Back to school. Ivy's gets you there in style in basically jeans. Move in them, play in them, look great in them. Basically jeans from Ivy's. Get them.
I just don't understand this. What's that? My grocery bill. Look, I shop the weekly specials and save on them, but everything else I buy costs so much. Forget the weekly specials. I shop Food Line. See? With their low prices, my total food bill's lower.
Weekly specials from other supermarkets may save a few cents on a few items, but you pay more for everything else. At Food Line, we sell 6,800 items for less. That means a lower food bill without weekly specials.
Have you been talking to our son on long distance again? Did he tell you how much he loves you? And did he tell you how well he's doing in school? All those things are wonderful. What on earth are you crying for?
Have you seen our long distance bill?
If your long distance bills are too much, call MCI. Sure, reach out and touch someone. Just do it for up to 30, 40, even 50% less.
It's the familiar flashing game board of Tic-Tac-Doe with TV's handsomest, most knowledgeable quizmaster, Wink Martindale. It's the big money game show that really goes berserk when Wink calls question round winners over for bonus round play. That's where things go sky high and right out of this world on TV's winningest show. Be a part of the fun and excitement. Join Wink and the big winners on Tic-Tac-Doe every day.
Today at 5 on WXII TV 12.
Pig's feet. Just let me show you the thing. This is pig's feet. 12 pig's feet. Boy, you're tough on the old pig family, I'll tell you that. 2 quarts of water, 4 onions, 1 cup white vinegar, 1 teaspoon allspice, 2 teaspoons seasoning salt, 1 teaspoon red pepper flakes, 2 tablespoons hot salt, 1 tablespoon salt, 1 tablespoon hot sauce, I'm sorry, 1 tablespoon white pepper, 1 tablespoon
No, he couldn't
black
do it, right?
pepper. All right, bring water to boil in large pot. Add all remaining ingredients, cover and simmer 2.5 hours. That's pig's feet, all right? Yes, we're with Helen Dickerson. Yes.
Are there any printed recipes for your various dishes?
Well, you don't have a book, Helen?
No.
You know any idea?
I ain't had a book in 40 years.
Do you have any idea how much money you can make with a book? What are you waiting?
No, that's what I come to you for.
Chalfont Hotel, Cape May, New Jersey. Don't forget that's a historic landmark. It is privately owned, but it has nevertheless been restored by a lot of dedicated students, architecture students. University of Pennsylvania went in there, and it's a lovely place.
I was wondering, do you ever use chitlins when you cook?
It's coming up.
All right, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it's coming up. Before that,
But let's do the coleslaw first. All right, give him your...
As everybody know, you cabbage and carrot grated, Cuisinart again. Mayonnaise, which is homemade here. My mother makes mayonnaise also. And
she makes her own mayonnaise?
Yeah.
Makes all my own dressing.
Oil and... What's in your mayonnaise?
What is in your
That's the one thing I don't make. I watch her make it. Dry mustard, oil, little lemon juice.
She gets out of everything she can.
Eggs.
I tell you what, I want 10% of your book whenever it's coming out, Helen. But I guess I'll have to earn it, though. I'm going to have to get this right.
Right.
Okay, that's the coleslaw.
And that's the coleslaw. Onion, great onion, and I've always added something extra. Pineapple. Crushed pineapple in it makes it very good.
Just throw it in, do you?
Just throw it in and
All
mix it up.
All right.
That's your coleslaw.
Chitlins. What are chitlins, Mrs. Dickerson?
Oh, good.
Hog's guts?
Yeah. That's plain English.
Yes, ma'am.
You asked for the truth, and that's the truth.
Helen, I'll tell you the one thing I've learned in the brief time we've spent together is that you are going to tell the truth. Chitlins are hog's guts. Prepared how, Helen?
Well,
I don't know if it matters, but...
You see that?
Yes, ma'am.
You have to pull off all this, and then you scrub them.
Oh, I see.
You see? That, all this fat, so really ain't nothing left but a sheet.
Taking off the fat for the doctor.
I was,
Yeah.
I was brought up on these chitlins, because I was from the country.
Yeah.
And, you see?
You know, there's not too much left of the poor
That's
pig when you
right.
get through with it, I'll tell you. Okay, and then I get it. It almost looks skin-like. It looks like chicken skin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now what?
And then you wash it good, and boil them for about 3 hours.
Boil them.
Yeah.
Probably put salt in the water.
And then that's the way they look when they're cooked.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're speaking about the black folks with chitlins and pig feet. Nowadays, the white folks are serving for hors d'oeuvres.
They are. That's the truth.
Am I right?
Yes, ma'am, that's the truth. And not only that, some of the real, you know, fancy schmancy French restaurants, places like that are...
They have a fancy name to it.
I know, they put a little, I know. It's about, it goes the length of the menu.
This is what
They could just put hog guts on there. That wouldn't turn anybody off. Yeah.
We put seasoned salt, tenderizer, white pepper, red pepper flakes, and vinegar.
All right, let me just try that because we got a break here. Now, what is the best way to...
These are better than pig feet.
They are?
Yeah.
But you don't have to have your fingers with that, but you can cut them.
You don't mind, though, if I use mine.
No.
We're in a hurry.
I think you feel better at home.
They're good.
Now, if you say they ain't good, there's something wrong with your tummy.
It is taste.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. This is different.
It is different.
Now, look, I'm not going to lie to you. This is a tough out for me. This is not, it's okay. I'm not, but this is a foreign taste to me, which does not make, it's not the pig's fault. What's the matter? Does anybody want to try
Hot sauce, yeah.
Does anybody want to try this? You do? You want to try this? Lillian, let me get in here for just a second.
Where's the hot sauce?
All right, just take it off that side. All right. Just go ahead, just pull it off. Now tell me honestly what you think. We're a little late, so we can...
I don't think we bought it. Sat on the table.
There, I think.
Sat on the table. We didn't bring it in.
It tastes like the chicken skin with vinegar. Like marinated with Italian dressing.
You know, I tell you this makes a statement, though, that the chicken skin doesn't make. You don't like it? You don't what?
I don't like the way they taste. My mother makes them, made them for years. Everybody comes from miles around. I'm a weird kid in my spot. You know, I'm her mother.
Oh, well.
Yes, and I cook them. You need hot sauce on
Yeah,
those. You can't eat them without hot sauce
Now
because
you tell me that, huh? We'll be back in just a moment.
Follow
Follow this sign to great furniture buys on complete home furnishings, appliances, and name brand TVs at Rumpel Furniture in Elkin.
Stop! Don't buy a car or truck anywhere until you check the price and payment from Roger West Chevrolet. No one has lower prices. Economy Chevette's just $119 a month with no money down. S10 pickup $135 a month with no money down. Luxury Caprice $234 a month with no money down. These cars are equipped with the options you want. You can shop all over the Carolinas, even Virginia, or you can save yourself a lot of time and money and come to Roger West here in Winston-Salem, where unless this emblem is on your car or truck, you probably paid too much.
I'm Jerome Schulman. I'm 71 years old. 2 years ago, I developed a wonderful product called Shane toothpaste. Now, thousands of people all over the country are using Shane. Here's what some of them say. Shane is fantastic. Shane is terrific. Shane is wonderful. I'd like to have you try Shane. If it isn't the finest toothpaste you've ever used, send me back the empty tube with a receipt, and I will give you a full refund.
Hello, I'm Rick Ammey. For an expanded look at the week's news stories, watch Newsroom, Saturday nights at 7:30. Newsroom focuses on you, the Piedmont people, and goes behind the headlines to bring you a closer look at people in the news. For news with a personal touch, Newsroom, Saturday nights at 7:30 here on WXII TV 12.
Color, excitement, pageantry, and a touch of old world charm. That's Folkmoot USA. This authentic international folk festival is coming to the Stevens Center in Winston-Salem August 10th. Performers from other countries will thrill you with their colorful native dances. Meeting of the People, that's Folkmoot USA. Sponsored by Stratford-Sertoma. Call 768-1000 for ticket information.
That's Helen Dickerson's place. She runs the joint in a sense, since she's the one who, some joint, listen to me. This is a historically renewed building in Cape May, New Jersey, and she's the chef, yes.
What's the difference between chitlins and cracklins?
Cracklin?
Yeah, I have no idea.
I've heard of crackling. Maybe I don't know.
I have no idea.
Crackling is the skin off of the...
What?
He's up there.
Oh, no. I thought that cracklins was fried rinds of... Fried rinds of the...
Doctor, with not much time, do you have any overview on how do you feel about chitlins?
Yeah, I have to point out that this is not the full soul food diet. Down south, a big part of the diet was fish and crayfish, a small lobster.
And how do you feel about that? Good?
Loaded with selenium, which prevents cancer. Really very good.
I don't cook, and we don't have any soul food restaurants at all in Eugene, Oregon. Does any of this stuff come pre-packaged? That you can buy it at a grocery store?
Is there a TV soul food dinner? Well, you know, there ought to be.
That's going to be after this show.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. Now, what do you got here? Sweet potato pie.
Yeah.
Very good. With very little time left. This is how it looks in the final
That's
version.
how it looks. This is what
do
you do.
You puree that, huh? You put that in the...
Cuisinart.
Cuisinart.
I did it for her.
I do it like this. She had to do it like that, so...
All right. What is this?
I'll let her go.
I'll take cheese.
Okay. Let me show you the sweet potato pie recipe. 4 medium sweet potatoes, 2 eggs, cup of sugar, teaspoon vanilla, pinch of salt, half teaspoon ground nutmeg, 1/4 pound butter, half cup evaporated milk, and 1 pie shell. Just throw it in and, boil potatoes in skins until soft, peel and place in mixing bowl, beat until there are no lumps. Add egg, sugar, vanilla, salt, milk, beat until creamy. Pour into pie shell. I'm sorry to be such a hurry, but we've got 100 pounds of show here and only and this is grits?
This is grits. Does everybody know what grits is?
You're using your Cuisinart for that too, huh?
No, this is just boiled water and pouring a cup of grits and salt.
All right, and this is what? Yeah.
That's hog's head cheese.
Hog's head cheese?
Oh, I deal with the pig strictly.
You just, Well, no one takes fuller advantage of the pig than you do, Miss Dickerson. I'll tell you, this poor animal, there's nothing left of this fellow when you're finished. I'll give you a chance to say goodbye in just a moment.
Wow, a new cereal.
Feeling like cinnamon toast, feeling like cinnamon toast crunch. Feeling tasty, feeling new, feeling crunchy, feeling true. Feeling like cinnamon toast crunch.
New Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal, sprinkled with cinnamon and sugar for the delicious taste of homemade cinnamon toast, part of this nutritious breakfast.
Feeling toasty, feeling sunny, feeling serious, feeling funny. Feeling like cinnamon toast, feeling like cinnamon toast crunch.
I'm Priscilla Presley, and when I thirst for color, I quench it. When I thirst for moisture, I quench it. If your lips thirst for attention, quench them with Quencher lipstick. So rich with moisturizers, so drenched with color, your lips will shimmer. If your lips thirst for attention, quench them with Quencher.
I think convenience, privacy, and quality are the reasons I like the Surgical Center of Greensboro. They specialize in outpatient surgery, and I really respond to their compassionate, individual approach to patient care. There's more time for personalized attention. The whole atmosphere is just more relaxed and comfortable. And I'll be honest, when it comes to health care, I want the very best.
There's a feeling in the air that you can't get anywhere except the Piedmont. I tasted 1,000 yesterdays, and I love the magic ways of the Piedmont. From the rolling countryside, we share the growing pride each time you touch the sky. From where the waters flow to where the sunsets go, we're all good neighbors passing by. Makes no difference where I go, you're the best place that I know. Hello, Piedmont. Hello, Piedmont. TV12 loves
I have time only to thank Dr. I.D. Rockin from the University of Illinois School of Medicine. It's important work that's being done. I'm really sorry to I'd love
line?
to... Yeah.
Greens, grains, yams, beans, peas. A very healthy diet. Leave out the fat.
Services provided and promotional fees paid by the following.
There's a car you can hold on to 1/3 longer than the average of all other cars on the road. Volvo.
You get a full gallon of quality plus economy every time you paint when you use True Test paints and accessories sold exclusively by participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
If you love Food Line's low food prices, why not help us tell your friends and neighbors? You could win $5, $10, $20, even $1,000 in groceries from Food Line. Just pick up this bumper sticker at any Food Line store and place it on your car. Then fill out an entry form. Each week, someone will win $1,000 in groceries. Just help us advertise our low prices. You could be one of hundreds of people who drive off with thousands of dollars in groceries from Food Line each week.
Harvey, having trouble?
Ah, this floor's still dirty, and this is the leading pine cleaner. Smells great.
Honey, smell don't clean. When it comes to cleaning this kind of dirt, Pine Power is the leader.
Prove it.
Look, you use your pine cleaner there, I'll use Pine Power here. See, Pine Power doesn't just smell great, it cleans this greasy dirt better. Kills germs, too.
Hey, it's brighter.
And cleaner.
That's better.
When it comes to clean.
Pine Power is...